What's up, gang? So week 5 is in the books. We have the scores for this past week, but before we get into that, if you like this kind of content, any kind of college football content, please hit that like, subscribe, bell icon buttons, and share button. It's greatly appreciated, very helpful for the channel. It gives me great feedback on what you guys think of the content that I put out. Also, I don't want you to miss anything that gets put out, because you'll get the most up-to-date news here, college football news that is. So I don't want you to miss it. So let's get into it. So we had number 10 Utah visiting number 19 Oregon State, and the 4-0 Utah Utes got upset in this game, which I had a feeling was going to happen. I didn't think that number 19 Oregon State was going to have a bad game. I thought they were going to rebound nicely, which they did. They won 21-7. So Utah now falls to 4-1, while Oregon State moves to 4-1. So Utah gets upset at Oregon State 21-7. And the next game between number 6 Penn State versus the unranked Northwestern team. Penn State was 4-0 going into this game, and Northwestern was 2-2 going into this game. So Penn State wins this game at Northwestern 41-13, and they move to 5-0, while Northwestern drops to 2-3. Coming in at the next game, we've got number 8 USC, who was 4-0 going into this game, versus a very wounded Colorado team, who was 3-1, I should say, going into this game. So Colorado played a very strong football game. They actually almost upset USC at home, but they actually lost by a touchdown, 48-41. So USC goes to 5-0, and Colorado drops to 3-2. So Colorado with the loss at home, 48-41 to USC. Going into the Florida game, I had predicted that this was going to be an upset, which it indeed was. They were playing unranked Kentucky at Kentucky. So Florida going into this game was 3-1, while Kentucky was 4-0. So number 22 Florida went into Kentucky and got blown out by an unranked Kentucky team. So the final of this game was 33-14. So Florida drops to 3-2. Kentucky goes to 5-0. This is probably going to knock Florida out of the top 25. So Kentucky with the big upset at home, 33-14. Congratulations to them, as well as Oregon State. Going into the next game with number 1 Georgia going up against unranked Nebraska. Georgia was 4-0 going into this game, while Nebraska was 2-2. So Georgia wins outright at Kentucky. Figured that was at Nebraska, excuse me. So I figured that the Bulldogs were probably going to run away with that game, and they did. So they win 45-7 over the Cornhuskers, where they are now moving to 5-0, while the Cornhuskers dropped to 2-3. Then we had number 24 Kansas going up against number 3 Texas. Kansas was 4-0 going into this game, as was Texas. So number 24 Kansas went into Texas and lost 40-14. So they dropped to 4-1, while Texas goes to 5-0 on the season. Then we had number 23 Missouri versus unranked Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt. Missouri was 4-0 going into this game, while Vanderbilt was 2-3. Number 23 Missouri takes this game 38-21 and improves their record to 5-0, while Vanderbilt drops to 2-4. And then this is the third upset of the week, between number 13 LSU and number 20 Ole Miss. and this game was played at Ole Miss. LSU, who was ranked 13th, was 3-1 going into this game, while Ole Miss was 3-1, excuse me. So LSU was 3-1. Ole Miss was also 3-1. So number 20 Ole Miss upsets LSU 55-49. So that drops LSU to 3-2 on the year, while it improves Ole Miss's record to 4-1. Going into the number 9 Oregon game against Stanford, the Ducks were visiting the Cardinal at this week, and number 9 Oregon took care of business, improving their record to 5-0, while Stanford dropped to 1-4 with a 42-6 loss to Oregon. So Oregon remains undefeated this year. Then we have the 2-3 Iowa State Cyclones versus the undefeated number 14 Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma went into this game at home and took it 50-20. So Oklahoma remains undefeated and improves to 5-0. In the next game, we have number 11 Notre Dame versus number 17 Duke. This game was played at Duke, and number 11 Notre Dame wins this game by a touchdown, 21-14, where they now improve to 5-1, while Duke drops to 4-1. So in the next game, South Carolina visited number 21 Tennessee, and Tennessee won that game 41-20, and South Carolina drops to 2-3, while Tennessee improves to 4-1. Then we have number 12 Alabama visiting Mississippi State, where the Crimson Tide improved to 4-1. Beating Mississippi State 40-17, and the Bulldogs dropped to 2-3 on their season. Then we have the Huskies of Washington coming in as the number 7 ranked team in the country, going up against unranked Arizona at Arizona, and Washington wins this game by a touchdown, 31-24. They improve to 5-0, while Arizona drops to 3-2. Then we have, rounding out this week, the 0-5 Nevada football team going up against the Fresno State Bulldogs. And actually, Nevada was 0-4 going into this game, excuse me. So the Nevada Wolfpack go to 0-5 with a 27-9 loss against number 25 Fresno State at Fresno State, and Fresno State improves to 5-0. While Florida State was on a bye week this week, and they will be meeting Virginia Tech next week, but that will be in the next video for predictions. Let me know what you guys think of these games this week. I think the most surprising upset to me was the Ole Miss LSU one, just because I figured LSU would have a better game, being that they've been struggling, but it looks as if the LSU Tigers are starting to decline a little bit, but we'll see how they bounce back next week. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let's get into it. And until next time, guys, have a great rest of your night, and I'll talk to you later.